No, but bits aside, I'd probably need this. Sound a little better, hopefully. A little more maneuverable, even though the channel name literally says, "Gimme the mic." We can still do that too. Trailers are f***ing weird. I used to be a huge trailer guy. I would watch every trailer for a movie that I was excited about coming up. Every single trailer. Even the little breakdowns that people would do on YouTube channels.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Vaughn.
Yes, I was one of those guys. But as I've gotten older, I've learned that I appreciate surprises a little bit more. I'm a huge Alien nerd. The first two are obviously fantastic movies, but I even still have fun with Resurrection and even Alien vs. Predator, which admittedly I haven't seen in a while, so I'm going to temper that a little bit. So I'm an Alien mark, right? After watching the trailer for Romulus, I really have no desire to see the latest Alien movie. Not because it looks bad. On the contrary, it looks like we're finally putting the spotlight back on horror instead of that introspective creation BS that we were focused on for a little while with Prometheus and Covenant. It just shows way too much for me to even think that it would be an effective horror trailer. And as a quick side note, I have exactly 2 videos up, and they both use the word covenant, which is not a common word.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Thought that was kind of strange. Like, I go back and watch the trailer for the original Alien, and basically all you get is reaction shots. There's a few setup shots, but they go by so fast in an era where we didn't have YouTube videos to be able to pause or even go frame by frame and see what was happening. So even if you thought you saw something that was like, oh, that's what, good chance you didn't know what it was. So it just feels like they were setting up more of a horror experience with this trailer. And obviously, depending on the genre, you might want to change the format of the trailer to work for that genre better. Just like you don't want a horror movie spoiling the biggest scare, or you don't like an action movie spoiling the biggest stunt. You don't want a comedy movie spoiling the biggest laugh.
Is the derpy derp the diddly derpy derpy derp. Rated PG-13.
I said all of those opinions until I started doing a little bit of research into older trailers. Alfred Hitchcock basically tells you the plot.
When in fact, it has now become known as the scene of the crime.
Gives you a walk around the set, tells you about his actors a little bit. And I'll tell you right now, I've already seen Psycho a few times. By the end of this trailer, I wanted to watch it again. Damn it, Al. You got me. Need to rely on suspense to have an effective viewing experience when you go to see the movie. But then you look at something like The Fly or The Shining, in which you're basically giving every frightening image, save for a few, on screen in that trailer. But it's more so relying on the movie-making abilities of Cronenberg or Kubrick to really nail the disorienting nature of that movie and kind of present it in the way that it's meant to be presented. Because in The Fly, you're shown just this basic everyday what were we talking about? when I saw the trailer for the new Joker, at first I thought it did the same thing and showed way too much that it needed to. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that the intrigue in this story comes from the dialogue. Especially in like a true crime era of pop culture right now, I feel like listening to what could come out of an interrogation with Arthur Fleck is a great hook. I haven't even seen the first Joker, and I kind of want to go see this one. So that's a very great point, I guess, is until you've seen the movie, kind of hard to figure out exactly how much of the director's hand is being shown. You can make assumptions, but it's usually a pretty delicate balance, the mystery and intrigue. It's a little difficult sometimes, but it is a balance that I think Deadpool and Wolverine matched perfectly. Spoilers. Not going to tell you anything about the plot other than the trailer doesn't really reveal that much. I really liked it, like a lot. And when you see the movie, if you see the movie, you'll be able to tell just how much of the plot they were able to keep under wraps within these trailers, while still at the same time showing you just enough of the story to give you a reason to want to watch it. And I guess while we're on the subject of comic book movies, remember when WB decided to catfish us all into watching a Suicide Squad movie? When really it was just Charles Manson's Joker audition. Once again, the 2021 Suicide Squad did a great balance of showing you, hey, this is what a Suicide Squad story should be. Please come watch it, while also keeping things under wraps. Now, on a side note, I don't think we need to show Starro. I think that could have been something to hide. Back in the days of Flash Gordon and Star Trek, all you really need to do is hint at a space adventure. It's a wrap, baby.
Somewhere in space, this may all be happening right now.
You got that weekend on lock at the box office. In the late 90s, you just needed to show some pretty good special effects to remind people that, hey, this is moving along pretty good. We're going to have some good-looking stuff. Eventually. And in the mid-2010s, you just needed to remind people of how much fun that original story could be. Which he did really well. Hey, JJ, how does it feel to have raised a zombie from the grave only to swiftly do a 180 and bury an axe into its forehead? Speaking of zombies, you can just use the Romero method. Repetition, repetition, repetition.
Night of the living dead. Night of the living dead. Night of the living dead.
Because back in the day when there really was no formula for this stuff yet, you could just kind of experiment with ways that you thought would draw people into the theaters, would get people in the seat. Hell, for Citizen Kane, Orson Welles just straight up gives you a breakdown of his cast and tells you why you would have a fun time watching them and why they're so great.
So does Paul. Paul Stewart, everybody. Citizen Kane is a modern American story about a man called Kane, Charles Foster Kane.
Ah, the French.
Which is insanely interesting for me, being a movie nerd, because that's something I would have to dig up in like a backstage interview. And here it is, just as the main promotional material. I'm like maybe the only person that finds that fascinating, but hey, it's my show. Did you know the reason they call them trailers is because they used to show them after a movie? Hell, the first trailer wasn't even really called a trailer. It was called a promotional movie. It was made for a musical called The Pleasure Seekers back in 1913 and was really used as not only a promotion for that musical, but also a promotion for the entire Lowe's chain of theaters at the time. I guess in conclusion, if we're going to give this any kind of format, trailers really are weird, but I like weird. I like weird when it can be used in unique ways, in inventive ways. Can we get more of that? Can we get some more cool trailers? Like I can't even remember off the top of my head, because this is literally off the top of my head. There was a trailer about that. There was a guy, there was a dog. It was like World War I or World War II. That I remember that had some unique promotion where it was like, don't worry, the dog doesn't die. And that was like the whole promotion around it. That was pretty unique. I don't remember a thing about the movie, but the trailer was unique. And also, I'm not that salty about Romulus. I'm probably still going to go see it at some point. Like, come on, man. That trailer was generic as. It's fascinating to me when I can see a franchise that I've been a fan of for like decades just a trailer really not even do anything for me. And then in the meantime, I can find a random video about AI generated wizards running a fast food restaurant to the soundtrack of Electric Avenue by Eddie Grant. And I want to give any amount of money to see that, like today. That series, that whatever it is, I want it now.
Electric Avenue.
And I guess before I go, there's are they down there? Yep. There's some buttons somewhere you can hit that might help me out. I hear if you hit that subscribe button 2 times, it works twice as effectively.